A woman accused of fighting a student and causing a shelter-in-place at Northampton High School, pleading not guilty to assault and trespassing charges during her arraignment today. Police say they arrived at the school around 2:15 p.m. yesterday and saw 29-year-old Amanda Diaz of Florence leaving the building with blood on her face and shirt. Upon investigating, police learned Diaz showed up with her brother and niece, who's a student there, to meet with school officials. Diaz then saw a 17-year-old girl who she reportedly had an issue with before, followed her down the hall and assaulted her. The girl is okay, though she had some injuries on her face. Diaz was released on her own personal recognizance after agreeing to stay away from the victim and from Northampton High School. Her pretrial hearing is set for April 8th.